Happy Wednesday! If you just got engaged, congratulations. I am so glad you found your way here to this episode of the Florida Wedding Podcast. I'm your host, Heidi Hoffman, and I own a wedding photography and videography company called Pine and Forge, based in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I'm here to be your wedding planning BFF for anything you need and to make wedding planning a total breeze by providing answers to common questions, by sharing advice, ideas, and other solutions for your unique wedding, and by connecting you with Florida vendors who are ready to join you in your celebration. This week, I have Regina Richardson here with me, who owns Furry Ventures Pet Care. It's a pet handling service specifically for your wedding day. So if your dream is to have your dog or cat be part of your wedding day, Regina is your girl to help you out because she will take care of your fur babe so that you have nothing to worry about on the day of your wedding. But before I bring Regina on here, I wanted to share one quick shout out to HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode. It's important to have a life outside of wedding planning, and date nights are especially important, and HelloFresh makes it super easy to learn a new recipe with your fiance and take a break from a night of wedding planning. So use the link in the show notes to get $40 off your next order, and then put that money towards your wedding budget or a much needed self-care day. All right, let's get Regina on here because I know you're all just dying to talk about puppies and weddings because honestly, I don't think there's a better combo. Seriously, name a better combination than weddings and puppies. It's like the two best things on the planet. Let's start by having you tell me who you are and where you are located in the state of Florida.
My name is Regina. I am the owner of Furry Ventures Pet Care, and I am located in Tampa, Florida, but we service all over Florida and the United States.
So tell me what you do and the services that you offer.
Furry Ventures is a wedding day pet care company, so we assist couples who want to incorporate their pets and just don't know how to do it. We take the responsibility off the friends, family, wedding coordinators, and making sure that your pet has the best day ever.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm glad you said that because taking that off the hands of coordinators and family and friends is super helpful. I've done a couple of weddings where they've had pets, and it always ends up being a distraction for whoever is handling them. And if they don't handle them on a regular basis or they're not a professional handler, sometimes it can be stressful for that person. I mean, it can be hard to hold a beer and hold on to a rambunctious dog at the same time.
Absolutely. I know if I had my dogs in my wedding, me as a bride, I would be worrying about them more than I would be worrying about taking pictures with friends and family. So I know as a dog mom how important it is to make sure your pet is always safe with somebody.
Yes. And not peeing on things that they shouldn't be peeing on.
Exactly. Yeah. And destroying or chewing and running around. So we make sure that doesn't happen. And especially we make sure that they don't jump on dresses. You don't want to destroy the wedding dress.
I've actually been trying to train my dog Maverick to signal him when it's okay to jump up and hug me. So that way, for any photos later on down the road.
That's cute. That's really cute.
Where I am in a nice dress, that he knows that it's only okay if I give him the signal.
Yeah, that's smart. But I guess that is something that a couple could work on beforehand if their dog can be trained.
Yes, he's only 14 months, so he's still pretty young, but lots of energy. He's a Belgian Malinois, so he's a handful. And so how did you get started down this business? Because it's a very unique service. So explain a little bit about that. Roll it back just a little bit and tell me your story there.
Yeah, absolutely. I started the company after I got married. I wanted my 3 dogs in my wedding, and it was just very hard to incorporate them in the wedding. I didn't want to put the responsibility on my friends or my family. I wanted them to enjoy their day. So after I got married, I started this job. I quit my day job and I started a pet care company.
What were you doing before that? What was your day job?
I was a bartender. So I bartended for, years.
But you offer this service in more than one state and you all over the world. How does that work?
We do. We travel. So we've done weddings in New York. We've done weddings in Colorado, Savannah. We are based in Florida, but we do travel.
So having your pet in your wedding, is a popular thing. I mean, people love their pets. I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, and I love them all to death. If I was getting married, how are some ways that I could include them in the wedding day?
Absolutely. To include them in your wedding, I would first check with your venue to make sure they are pet friendly. Some venues do have a strict no pet policy. Sometimes if you have a company like ours, they will allow it because the dog is being handled by somebody and we are licensed and we take the responsibility and the liability off of the venue. Another way you can include your pet in your wedding, you can incorporate them in your pictures. You could also give them something to wear. It's always fun to dress your dog up for your wedding, but I would make sure that they are comfortable in what they are wearing because they are going to be wearing it for a long period of time. Maybe just a simple bow tie or a bandana would look very nice. You can incorporate them walking down the aisle or just in pictures. It's very important to know how you want to incorporate them before your wedding day so everyone is just not all over the place and worrying about your dog and how they're going to be in the wedding. The most important tip that I would say is to hire professional help. You don't want your friends and your family to be worrying about your dog. You want them to enjoy their day with you. You want to give your dog the best day ever. So having them with a professional pet handler, it'll ensure that they have the best day. Another tip is practicing. Practice makes perfect, as everyone says. So a professional dog handler, as we are, we will walk around your venue, make sure that they're always comfortable in a new location, getting all the sniffs out and potty breaks, and we'll walk up and down the aisle with them as much as possible to get them ready for the ceremony. So when it's time for their time, they'll get it down.
Do you work with pets before? Like, so say someone hires you, do you set up a time to like get acquainted with the dogs before the wedding, or is that just something you do on the day of?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do a free meet and greet before the wedding day to meet you, your fiance, and your pets to make sure that it's a right fit. So we don't do training beforehand, but we will work with the dogs or a cat as many times as they need beforehand. If they need multiple meet and greets, we will do that to make sure that they are comfortable with us and that they remember us the day of the wedding.
Is training something you suggest as far as like wedding prep goes? Is training something that you suggest for your couples to do with their pets so that they're a little bit easier to handle on the day of? So like saying like walking down the aisle, kind of training them to not be so distracted by the people that are also sitting in the chairs or pews as you're walking down the aisle, but to stay focused.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't necessarily suggest maybe hiring a trainer, but definitely daily walks with them so they are comfortable on a leash. Sometimes pets aren't walked on leashes and they just go out in the backyard. So if you do daily walks with them and kind of get them used to being on a leash and used to being around other people and an unfamiliar place, they'll shine when it's time for the ceremony.
And maybe the same goes for what they're wearing, is to kind of get them used to wearing that if they don't wear a bow tie on a regular basis, which, I mean, my dogs don't.
Yeah, no, my dogs don't either. Or a bandana, yeah, especially get them used to wearing what you want them to wear on the wedding day. I had a couple who had a really cute dress made for their dog that matched the bride's dress. So it was really cute seeing that she wore that during the ceremony. She walked down the aisle in the dress. She had a long train on and everything.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I bet those pictures were adorable.
Yeah, they're really cute.
So let's say that I'm a bride, but like maybe having my pet at my wedding, whether the venue doesn't really allow it or it might just end up stressing me out more because I would be thinking about it all the time. What are some ways that I can include them in my wedding ceremony and or reception without them actually being there?
So an engagement shoot is a good way to incorporate your dog. If you aren't including them in the wedding, you can have them in your save the dates for pictures. You can also have signature drinks named after the dog and have a little picture of them next to the ingredients on the bar, or you can do custom napkins with their pictures on it. Maybe even have a treat table at the end of the night, do a little like doggy bag for your guest dogs to take home, or you could donate to a rescue foundation where you got your dog from if they are a rescue dog. And you can also do a cake topper. I know when I got married and I couldn't include my 3 dogs, I got a cake topper with 3 dogs on it, and we had that on our cake.
That's so cute. And I love the idea of making a donation too, because I think that's a cool way to kind of honor how they entered your family if you did rescue them.
It also helps the foundation further their work in helping other animals that need help.
So if someone says, yes, I want to include my pet in my wedding, and of course they should hire a professional handler, because I have personally been at weddings where there has not been a handler. And although the photos turned out very sweet, I don't believe that the pets had their best day ever.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about a timeline. When should I be reaching out about your services, and what are those steps?
So we have couples reaching out maybe a year in advance. I've had a couple reach out 2 weeks before their wedding. It all depends on them. Honestly, I recommend maybe 6 months in advance. There are a ton of weddings being planned and their favorite vendors being booked up. So if I wanted to include my pet in the wedding, I would definitely reach out maybe 6 months beforehand. Especially with this pandemic going on, a lot of the vendors are being booked up already for 2020 and 2021.
This is true. It's like doubling up on weddings. Just like everything is just coming in at once, because people who are supposed to get married this spring are either getting married in the fall or they're waiting till next year. So everything is kind of happening all at once.
I tell everyone, book your vendors now, book your vendors now. So our services, I'll just tell you a little bit what we include on our services. We offer free meet and greet before the wedding. Every package comes with a licensed dog handler to ensure that your dog is always in the best hands. We provide round-trip transportation for your dog the day of the wedding, making sure that they are arriving to your venue safe and arriving home after safe. We coordinate with all your vendors, making sure that they're always in the right spot at the right time, especially your photographer, making sure that they're at the pictures when they're supposed to be. We help them pose for pictures. We come with a ton of treats and squeaky toys and loud pitch voices, and we just make them always look at the camera. We provide black leashes, collars, and harnesses for the wedding day use. We also make custom bow ties or bandanas. If they are in the ceremony, we'll help walk down the aisle with them. If not, we'll sit off to the side, wait for pictures. And then at the end of the day, we bring them home.
How many hours is that for you, or does it range?
It ranges. So every package is different. We customize depending on the level of participation for the dog, the distance traveled, the number of pets, kind of stuff like that.
Do you also offer to feed them throughout the day?
Absolutely. Yep.
Do couples need to prepare their own food for them, or do you bring that, or do you offer options?
Yeah, we ask them to provide the food just because some dogs are on different diets and we don't want to mess up their diet. So we ask them to bring the food. If we are going to be there for a long period of time, we will feed them. We always come with a ton of water, lots of potty breaks.
You offer a video service from the perspective of a dog, right?
We follow the dog around with our cameras all day and kind of see what they see during the day. We stop by your room while you're finishing getting ready to get any beforehand pictures that you would like. It kind of just calms your nerves a little bit, seeing your dog or your dogs beforehand before you walk down the aisle. You get lots of kisses and puppy snuggles with them before. You also see the adventure that we go on around the venue, and we just capture all the intimate and fun moments that we have with them during the day, especially going down the aisle with them, your pictures. It takes about 4 weeks for us to edit it, and then you get it back.
That would be such a cool little keepsake and so different.
Yeah, it's very cute. You kind of see what your dog does while you're finishing getting ready all day and all the fun that we have.
That's very sweet. I love that. I would hire you just for that.
It's definitely a dream job. It's a lot of fun. Not only do we do weddings, but we do pet care 7 days a week. So we're always with pets.
That's so awesome. I love that. I would love that job. And tell me, where can people find you online? Where can they connect with you?
You can connect with us through Facebook, Instagram. Our Instagram is Furry Ventures _Pet Care. Facebook is just Furry Ventures Pet Care, and our website is furryventurespetcare.com.
Awesome. And you can also find Furry Ventures Pet Care on floridaweddingpodcast.com. So I've been on a styled shoot with Regina, and she is a top pro at getting those puppers to look at the camera for photos. And as a photographer, let me tell you, it is insanely helpful to have one person whose job is to make the puppy look at the camera. So go follow her pages on social media if you like looking at cute pets. But before you do that, if you loved this episode, please share it. Take a screenshot, post it on your Instagram or Facebook or wherever you hang out the most, or better yet, send a link to this episode to someone who just got engaged and might not know where to start or is dreaming of having their puppy at their wedding, or their cat, because we can't leave the kitties out of here. It is engagement season after all, so sharing this will just be super helpful. One final shout out then to HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode. Make it date night in the kitchen and get $40 off your first order. Just click the photo with the discount in the show notes. For more episodes and wedding planning resources, head to floridaweddingpodcast.com and stay connected between episodes on Instagram and Facebook at Florida Wedding Podcast.